So there's a lot of doubt in an adult mind. Whereas in a children's mind, they would just be not anxious about it and jump into the pose.
Yoga is not about only flexibility. It's about awareness, it's about kindness, and it's about balance.
Everybody has a certain universal stress in their lives. Physiologically, mentally, emotionally, you have always stress in some way.
Globally, there are about 300 to 350 million people
That's right.
who are practicing yoga, but many quit in between. What is the reason? This is True Rotarian, where service meets storytelling. Hello and welcome to True Rotarian Podcast, where we talk about stories of service and voices of change. As you must have seen over the years, we select only those topics which are of interest to all of us. Whether we are Rotarians or we love giving back to the society, we as Indians are born givers. We help our neighbors, we help our environment, we help the fellow beings around us. So today's conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is a very special one. It's calming, it's deeply relevant in today's day and age. My guest today is a special person. Her name is Ritu Bhasin. She was born and raised in Belgium, professionally shaped across Europe and United States and Asia. Now she's based in Singapore.
Indeed.
Ritu's corporate journey spans marketing in Brussels,
Absolutely correct.
communications with Belgian mission to the United Nations in New York.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
And later finance and recruitment in Hong Kong.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Indeed. We're all over the place.
But life had another calling for her. Over a decade, she chose yoga not just as a practice, but as a path of service.
That's right indeed, Hemantji.
Today, she teaches yoga to children as young as 5 years old, tweens, teens, adults, senior citizens, across schools and embassies, and international institutions. Her belief is very simple, but yet very powerful. Yoga is the best gift one can give to our children, your family, and to yourself. Let's explore her journey, her philosophy, and why she chose yoga as against so many things she was doing. Welcome to True Rotarian Podcast.
Nice to see you, Hemantji. Yes.
So you've been in Goa for some time, came on a holiday?
Yes, we came on a holiday with the family to visit the family. And we've been here for 2 to 3 weeks. So it's been quite a good quality time with everyone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much that you could find time from your holiday and speak to our
Absolutely.
audience regarding the passions
It's a
that you
pleasure.
have developed over the so many years.
Sure, it's a pleasure, Hemantji. Absolutely. And thank you for taking out the time too.
Now, you are based in Singapore, you said.
Yes.
How did you come to know about True Rotarian Podcast?
We figured, so I was browsing in terms of giving to people and to society, and I figured that your podcast showed up about the meditation
Yeah.
aspect. So you spoke about meditation that time, and it was really, really wonderful. It caught my eye that time. So that's how I'm aware of the Rotarians podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. That means you did, sitting in Singapore, you were keeping tabs as to what's happening in India.
I do, yes, sometimes.
Wonderful. Should we start with your personal journey and the transformation over the
Sure, absolutely.
this thing? Your professional journey spans 3 continents and you had different careers. What was the turning point that led you to choose yoga as against corporate life?
Right. So after Hemantji, I became a parent and I had completed professional work. I felt like I need to do something else in my life that can give to society as in form of a service. And I felt like doing something to do with wellness. So I felt that time becoming a parent, and a change in my life to give to society, to really feel that I need to do something more meaningful. And so completed my teacher trainings in Hong Kong first. So that was around kids only, or children's teacher training. Then I went to, it was time to move to Singapore for us, in fact. And then I completed my adult teacher training as a complement to the kids teacher training. And I felt...
That's all in yoga?
This is all in yoga.
Okay.
And so eventually, I started off teaching Karma Yoga. So basically a selfless act towards people at the shelter in Singapore. So where there were women that faced abuse, etc. So there were domestic workers, etc. And so I started off there for my Karma Yoga. And then followed by, at the same time, actually, I got into the US Embassy as well to teach yogis, or to teach delegates rather, and diplomats to be able to have a yoga session with them and to make them more peaceful and mentally alert. So
that's so wonderful. That means you are not a Rotarian.
I was not a Rotarian, no.
You are not a Rotarian.
Indeed.
But you did work exactly what Rotarians do.
I kind of led to that path, yes.
Because you started giving back to the society, or to those ladies who were in the shelter, who were facing some kind of a trauma in their lives in
That's
terms
right.
of abuse and things like that.
Yes.
You went and started teaching them yoga.
Yeah.
That's
It
so
was
wonderful.
about 40, 50 people on the balcony, literally, and they were so interested and they were really looking for peace in
Wow.
their lives. So it was beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice to
Very
know that
gratifying.
a non-Rotarian doing Rotarian's work. Excellent, Ritu.
Indeed.
You're
Thank
doing
you.
a great job.
Thank you so much.
Now, did yoga enter your life as a solution, or a curiosity, or a calling?
So it started off as a curiosity in my tweens or teen time when I was in Belgium. And there was a Guruji from India who came to teach us all. And he taught basic asanas, basic cleansing that time. And my curiosity really arose in the sense that I want to know more. I want to know more about yoga. And it kept my spine very healthy as a teenager, because as teenagers, we tend to slouch and have bad postures. So it really helped me in that sense that there was an excitement created. And then moving on later in life, I think, life went by, life takes over in terms of studying, work. And after work, 11 years ago, when I started basically looking into yoga practice for myself as a parent to be more calm and a good parent towards my children, I started to venture into more as a teacher. So I wanted to become a teacher. And that's when really my calling was, when I started teaching at the embassy, at many institutions, such as the Shangri-La Hotel too. I found myself that I was doing a very gratifying role, and I found myself doing something very meaningful. So that was a calling, I would say, in that sense. Then in terms of solution, I would say that came much later during my yoga journey, because it's been 11 years now. So during my teaching process, I learned that how yoga can be a solution to your body. Suppose you have aches and pains in the body, how to solve those, that obviously comes through yoga practice, and you can actually solve a lot of things through yoga practice.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I really learned over time.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Now, you teach yoga to small children, you teach yoga to teenagers,
That's
adults,
right.
seniors. How does yoga change across different age groups?
So it starts off, let me start with the young ones. So the young ones are about 5 to 8 years old, and they are very playful and they like it dynamically. So the way I start is I incorporate songs, I incorporate asanas through certain props. Like for instance, a Hoberman's Fair. I don't know if you've heard of a Hoberman's Fair. Basically, it's like a geometrical ball that you use. And that's the way I show them how breathing works. So when you inhale, the ball expands. And when you exhale, the ball contracts. So that's the way our lung functions too. So that's how they would enjoy the whole breathing pattern, so as young children. So they're very excited about the breathing ball, for instance. And there's many other tools that you can use, like feathers, to teach them breathing properly. Or even asanas, they would jump right and copy asanas, so very sweet of them. They were really sweethearts to me. Further on, moving to tweens and teens, I think that there's a different category of children there. In the sense, there's bodily changes happening. There is a lot of fluctuations in terms of hormones. There is a lot of changes in their mindset cognitively. So their prefrontal cortex is being developed. So those kind of aspects, I feel they really need yoga practice, and especially breathing. So that'll still them internally, calm them internally, have less anxiety. And so from there onwards, I started doing storytelling to them. So I would even incorporate stories such as Star Wars and Harry Potter to make them jump into the asana, So they would really enjoy that part. And I would also incorporate a lot of props, a lot of actual breathing, such as pranayama and kapalbhati, etc., cleansing kriyas. So they would be very open-minded and very happy to learn this. So children have a very dynamic spirit and a very happy spirit, and they keep communicating towards the teacher too. So they are very open-minded in the sense to learn, to grasp, and to even show their yoga skills, So they're very proud of that and confident.
What do children intuitively
understand
yoga better than adults?
Right, that's a very good question. Yes, it's a very, very good question. I feel that intuitively they are more fearless. They would be also not thinking twice to get into an asana, whereas adults, we tend to question a lot. We tend to say, hey, is this okay for me? Would I be able to do this? Etc. So there's a lot of doubt in an adult mind. Whereas in a children's mind, they would just be not anxious about it and jump into the pose or asana. And they would just follow the teacher. So there's this aspect of imperfection that they accept. So they accept progress over imperfection. So compared to adults would like to do the asana or the pose or the posture in a very perfect manner. And they would like to be very perfect at it, and they would be very doubtful about things. So that's the difference. I feel that they intuitively just, kind of practice the asana.
Oh, okay.
And the breathing itself. Yeah.
So it's, would you say it's easier to interact with children vis-a-vis the adults?
Not easier, I would say, because it's also hard to get them on the mat. They're very distracted and very, all over the place around the mat. But I would say adults are easier to teach, yes. But children need, once they're on the mat, they really grasp.
They are fun to teach.
They are fun to teach, absolutely. They're too cute, yes.
Your work with international schools, embassies, institutions, and the kind of other things that you teach is also about the stress and mindfulness, right?
Yes,
Let's talk about
absolutely. So delegates and executives and, diplomats would come in the hall right at the embassy, and they would gather together. They were all prepped in yoga gear and ready to have some asana practice and as well as breathing. So what they were really looking out for was they had a lot of stress in their journey, life journey, and I felt like they really need it. So good asana practice, first of all, to stretch and strengthen, and then followed by breathing practice and shavasana. So that was really required. And what I learned was that, even any part of the world as well, that be it US or, people from all over the world, they just need yoga because everybody has a certain universal stress in their lives. Physiologically, mentally, emotionally, you have always stress in some way. So that would really help them to calm them down mentally and to really focus and gain clarity in their work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I am told there are different types of yoga today, right? There are different
That's
yogas.
Correct, yes.
One is the yin or
restorative yes.
yoga, and then there is hatha yoga, and
That's
then
right.
there is vinyasa yoga.
Vinyasa, yes.
and there is then Ashtangana Yoga.
That's
Could you please differentiate
Elaborate? Sure.
on all these different types of yoga?
Absolutely. So there's starting with yin and restorative. So it's a much more gentler practice, a calmer practice where we hold asanas for let's say a minute to 3 minutes at least, and we stay in that pose for a while to really connect with our deeper tissues in the muscles and also engage the red fiber muscles in our body. So that's one aspect, and it's also a very meditative side of practice. It could be with bolsters, with eye shades, very relaxing kind of, and healing to your system. On the other hand, is restorative side as well, where we incorporate a technique called Sukshma Sthul Vyama in yoga, which translates as gross and subtle yogic techniques. So those are very restorative in terms of techniques. Let's say we have sort of had an injury somewhere, so we can move those limbs in the right direction to kind of make them alive and make them work well.
Okay.
So it's very good technique in yogic practices that we
That
apply.
is the first one, right?
It's the first, yes, type of yoga, indeed. So yin and restorative.
Okay. And what is the
So,
second type?
Second type is when basic hatha practice, so which is a traditional and a very culturally rich yoga that we've learned. So ha means sun and ta means moon. So we are balancing in hatha yoga both energies, the sun and the moon energies. Basically, the practice conveys as, static postures. So you hold the postures for 30 seconds to 1 minute and try to build up the foundation, the strength, the alignment factor. And then kind of move on to different types of yoga, or you practice moving on to vinyasa yoga then.
Okay.
So
Vinyasa is a sort of more advanced.
I wouldn't call it advanced, I would call it more dynamic.
Okay.
So it's one breath, one movement. So when you go into postures, there's literally one breath, one movement happening.
Oh, okay.
And you flow through postures. Once you know the foundation in Hatha Yoga, you move on to a thing called Yoga Mala. So it's an aspect where we flow from one asana to another in one breath, one movement.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of vinyasas. Vinyasas consist of a plank pose, upward facing, downward facing dog, literally. And it's a bit more strenuous. It's a bit more dynamic, and people that like to work out, and that's more of a type of vinyasa, or be creative with yoga. That's vinyasa.
And the last
practice.
one?
The last one is Ashtanga Yoga. So those are translated as 8 limbs of yoga. Sri Pabati Joy started this lineage basically, and his grandson Sharad Joy. And they started with a primary series, then followed by intermediate, third series, fourth series. But they all the series themselves are a sequence of asanas. So they're structured and they're the same sequence over and over again. But they are very strenuous, very vigorous. So this is the last stage, I would say, if you want to advance even more so. I think it's a beautiful practice. It takes 1.5 hours. And that's, I would say, more of a strength needed there and a flexibility for sure. So I would start off in general with just relaxing yin or hatha practice. If the body's tired, definitely yin practice comes definitely as a priority. But if the body's not tired, I would practice hatha yoga, then build up to vinyas, then to ashtang practice, and then even to Mysore. There's another one actually, which then the series of ashtang practices by heart, and you just practice yourself.
Okay.
And
what is the common factor in all these 4-5 different yoga names that we have taken?
Right.
Am I right to understand that the common thing is breathing?
So common thing is breathing, no doubt. And, the breath has to be stable and steady. So
would you like to give a demo to our viewers to at least the common factor in all the yoga practices?
Very happy to, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's 2 breathing techniques that I would like to teach you. It's a very simple technique that we can practice in day-to-day life. And even while seated in a car, anywhere you are, just kind of close your eyes and put your hands on your lap and spine upright nicely. So we roll our shoulder blades back. Feel free to join me in this. And we just close our eyes and just calmly breathe for a moment. And then inhale. Once you exhaled completely, we're going to start breathing in all the way for 1, 2, and 3. Hold the breath for a moment. Breath retention for 3, 2, and 1. And exhale for 3, 2, and 1. So you can carry on with this breath pattern for 20 rounds at least to gain the benefits. If you're not able to sleep, you're feeling anxious, this will center you and make you more present for sure. The second type of breathing practice is Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shodhan Pranayama. You must be knowing or be aware of it. That is very powerful in the sense it balances your Ida and Pingala Nadi. So there's a network of energy channels in our body in yogic practice. So there's about 72,000 energy channels in yogic practice. And so the Ida Nadi is there and the Pingala Nadi. So the Ida is related to your left nostril.
Nadi is the vein.
Energy channel.
Energy channel.
The flow where energy and the prana flows.
Okay.
Right? So or the area where the prana or energy flows. Then you have Ida Nadi, which is left nostril. It represents the left one, which is connected to your parasympathetic nervous system. And then you have Pingala Nadi, which is connected to your right nostril to the sympathetic nervous system. So it really balances out your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system altogether once you practice Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. It's so powerful a practice, and I would really recommend to practice this for 81 rounds a day. You can divide it up, 20, 20, 20 each and a few more.
81 times.
81 times a day. Because in yogic texts, they say that it can cure any form of disease.
Oh, really?
Along with a good diet, a lighter diet, a sattvic diet, this can really cure diseases. Because it balances the Ida and Pingala Nadi and your sympathetic nervous system, the sun and the moon balance, the heaty and the non-heaty or the cooling side of your body. So it's so powerful a practice, really. So I'll just demonstrate it to you. So the way to start is we take our right hand. So for you it might be this hand. We take our peace fingers and we place them over the eyebrow center. So just to be able to close and open your nostrils with the ring finger.
I do that.
Pranav Mudra. Yeah, exactly. So you take your Pranav Mudra and you inhale through the left nostril first. So breathe in for 2, 3, and 4. Exhale right, 8 counts. 8, 7, and go slow as you can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, same nostril, so right nostril again. So you're going to breathe in again for 2, 3, and 4, and exhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this is one round of Anulom Vilom. So you have to put a ratio to it. It's very important to put an intention and a ratio to it. So the ratio should be 1 to 2. So if you inhale for 4, then you exhale for 8. You can do 3 to 6 also. So inhale for 3 and exhale for 6 each time. And you inhale through left, exhale right, exhale left. So you combine that ratio with it. It's a very important factor, which most people don't do actually. So yes.
Now, which style of yoga or I would say healing you personally return to when you feel overwhelming?
Right, absolutely. We all do. As yoga practitioners, we definitely feel overwhelmed too with life and stresses. I think I would, if the body or you feeling very loaded and tired, I would withdraw to the yin practice or restorative practice, which then focuses more on the hip side, so hip openings, which then releases also more emotions out of your body and mind. Another practice that I go to, I actually make it a little creative myself because I'm also like, I want to just flow sometimes in my own yoga practice. And so I revert to Vinyasa and Ashtanga too at times when I feel very energetic and I just need to let out steam. So then I do Vinyasa and Ashtanga practice as well.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of mix up all those kind of variations.
Depends on the kind of circumstances.
Circumstances mood. And body, mood, everything, yes.
Great.
Yes.
Now, there are a lot of people today. I think globally there are about 300 to 350 million people
That's right. Yes.
who are practicing yoga, but many quit in between. They give up.
Yes.
I don't know why, but what is the reason?
There are several reasons sometimes when we practice in group sessions, yoga sessions, let's say, there's like 30, 40 people in a yoga room. And then the teacher doesn't have the chance to really look at you personally to say, okay, this alignment is not correct, or to be able to correct you in your postures. And then secondly, I feel that students get disheartened when they don't progress, and there is no right form of drills to lead to the final asana, or they might get stuck somewhere and they feel like, oh, this is becoming too monotonous for me. So there's all sorts of reasons, or I'm too inflexible for yoga, and that's another reason that I hear. But I feel that eventually yoga is really required, and the right teacher is required sometimes to really overlook, in that sense, the alignment, the posture, breathing, more importantly, and especially that you're gaining benefits eventually and you're progressing. So I would really recommend to have a personal trainer, that can really correct your postures and say what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Maybe you're better at splits and hip opening, or rather than, other asanas.
Vis-a-vis a group session.
That's
what you're
right.
saying is you should have a one-to-one session with your yoga teacher. If you were in Delhi, I would have taken classes every day.
Absolutely. That would be lovely. I would be happy to
Maybe
teach
I'll have
you.
to come to Singapore now.
You
to take
could,
some
yes,
classes,
absolutely. Happy to receive you there too. Either way, I'll be happy to teach you whenever. But, I feel that, it's just something that we all need to incorporate. Be it now, there's gym taking over in many ways, that where they say muscle mass is important. And it's no doubt important to have more muscle mass, lift weights, etc. But I feel that alongside, yoga preps you to be resilient. So any sport that you practice alongside, let's say tennis, or paddle, or name it, any sport you enjoy, this yoga really makes you resilient.
Wow.
That's one thing I feel.
So, ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing very nicely what Ritu has mentioned, that if anybody ever gets monotonous doing yoga, look for a good yoga
good
teacher.
That's right.
Ritu, you just mentioned that it's very important to have a good relationship with a yoga teacher. Is it quite similar to when a patient goes to a psychiatrist or to a doctor? They talk about what the discomfort level is and what is their goal. Similarly, I'm sure for students like me,
Yes.
we have to interact with a yoga teacher and tell him or her, this is what my goal is.
Yes,
Is it right?
absolutely. I think so. I think it's very important to communicate with your teacher what your, injuries are in the past, or even tell them I'm emotionally not well, or there's another issue in your body that you won't like to discuss. But the yoga teacher would absolutely like to know more about you. So, and it's happens often that students do not discuss it. And then they figure out later that, they had another injury, students. And so I feel that this should be communicated well in advance towards your teacher, to be able for the teacher to understand what your weaknesses, strengths are, what can we work on, more so, and what can we avoid, So it's very, very important.
It's important to have.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, it's also a profession in the sense you are, at least I look at it like this, when I go to a yoga teacher, whether the teacher is younger or older than me, I have to give her the respect that she's due to him or her because of the immense knowledge they have gained over the years. And I must sort of, open up totally and things like that and discuss my goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's so much wisdom in India, an ancient medical science wisdom that we have, which is so powerful, and it's traveled to the West over time.
Yes.
It's traveled through, influences like Sri Krishnamacharya, Paramahansa Yoganand. And so he brought yoga to the West. And so that traveled alongside, and they have really gained utmost respect for the practice. And they are very disciplinary, in that practice. And they really value yoga practice itself a lot.
Right.
And the way they practice, I'm in awe sometimes, So, and even Hollywood stars have taken over the yoga practice, and they've really gained a lot of benefits too. So even the West really appreciates every bit of the wisdom.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, one has heard that there are a lot of props and innovations being used in yoga. What do you have to talk
Yes.
about? Let's talk about them.
Let's do that. So basically there's, props that we use in Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa, all sorts of yoga varieties and practices. But we start off using them appropriately. So let's say you have to go in an asana, you use a block and you use a strap to get your arms together, or go in a bind, for instance, or just lift onto blocks, So you really need those props to be able to progress. So initially we're all inflexible. I have also learned personally in a very inflexible way, and I was not very strong or from the beginning. It just came to me later over time with consistent practice. And with that, you require props such as strap, yoga block, and yoga wheel as well for back bending, for instance. So there's a lot of tools to really make your muscles lengthen and to open up your thoracic spine, lumbar spine, and cervical spine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these things are essential tools today.
Essential tools, absolutely.
Over the years that yoga practitioners have found to be useful.
Absolutely.
In healing people.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. And to go deeper in a practice, yes.
To go deeper into practice.
And to
so
progress,
yoga props are important.
Yes.
You are now thinking of developing some fun, creative yoga props. And what inspired you with this idea?
That's right. So the reason I looked into it, because I was looking out for my own practice, some props, and it didn't make sense to just get good old boring foam blocks with a yoga brand on it. I would prefer something more engaging, more fun, a design. I've only seen props with a mandala on it or a chakra, centers on it. But other than that, I haven't really noticed any creativity in terms of yoga props. So there is a lot more to offer in terms of yoga props to make them more excitable, to make them more qualitatively better too. So I would say cork yoga blocks would be much better a prop in terms of foam yoga blocks, because they're more stable to put your hand on it. It's better for stability purposes, to lift your legs off the ground, etc., to balance basically.
Wow, so that means you are in a process of developing newer and newer things.
That's right. I'm very excited about it. So stay tuned, everyone, at I Am Yoga SG.
Wow. Now, you often say that yoga makes a person kinder, more compassionate, self-aware.
Absolutely.
How does this transformation happen?
Yes. So basically, Hemantji, when you practice yoga yourself and when you're on the mat, I feel there's a non-judgmental, non-competitive practice going on. And when you're doing challenging asanas, let's say, you feel that you need to do a self-talk to yourself first. So you're talking to yourself that, yes, I may be able to try again, or yes, I may be able to do it. So that self-talk, internal self-talk that happens, or the thoughts that are coming along, are a form of compassion to yourself. And that compassion, when you instill that within you, and also just, the love for yourself that develops on the mat, and the self-awareness in asanas, that my body on the right side is not able to do this and the left side is better, etc., etc. So there's many factors you explore internally, and it's a really beautiful internal exploration of your body and mind. So, and your breathing especially. So you discover so much that you become internally, with that self-talk and thoughts, more loving, more compassionate, and more self-aware.
Wow.
So that's really my journey personally.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Any last thing you would like to tell our audience about yoga and things like that? So
Absolutely. The one gift that I would like to give you is to practice any form of asanas, be it basic asanas to advanced, but everybody should have the gift of yoga in their life to become self-centered, present, gain clarity in their mindset, and absolutely have a holistic approach in their life. It shouldn't be necessarily spiritual. It can be a medical science for you. And if you practice yoga in your life, then you are sorted for other practices. Let's say weight training, other sports, becoming more resilient in life, and becoming more confident as a human being. And it works on an overall personality development. And you become more loving towards the world, and you send those vibrations out in the world that you experience through yoga. So that's what I would like
Wonderful.
to say. Yes.
Well, Ritu, thank you so much for reminding us that yoga is not about only flexibility. It's about awareness, it's about kindness, and it's about balance.
Yes.
In a world rushing towards speed, competition, constant stimulation,
Yes.
yoga gently teaches you how to breathe, pause, and center yourself in the present.
Absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, whether you are a child or a professional or a senior citizen or even a parent, yoga is about perfection. If you like our stories, if you like our content, if you like listening to our program, please do like, share and subscribe. And if you also have a story to tell, please do get in touch with us. It will be my honor and pleasure to call you on the show. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Thank you so much for listening to me,
Thank you,
Hemant
thank
ji.
you,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.